the filling of the North American sandwich, and it comes to you from Road America, round 8 of the 2014 FF1M season, and it's the United States Grand Prix at a legendary circuit. And I'm joined by Courtney Cass this time around.
Hello there. Excellent intro there, Brickles, although I would add an amendment in the, if it's America, surely it should be the burger.
Correct, yes. Anything with 2 slices of bread and something in between. So this is like, they call it the hamburger, even though it's made of beef.
Americans.
Well, it's actually from Hamburg rather than actual pig.
Oh, right. Man, that makes so much sense. I just thought it was another one of those crazy things, like how they call petrol gas. Like it's a liquid.
Yeah. Anyway, we should get back to the actual stuff that we're meant to be doing here. But Mexican Grand Prix was the last race, which saw Lewis Hamilton take the second Grand Slam of the season, previously done by Fernando Alonso at Monaco, and closes in on the championship lead, which is currently being held by yourself and Sebastian Vettel.
Yeah, very surprised by that. I just realised this circuit's 6.5k.
It's a long one.
This is that long.
It's also one of the oldest original layouts circuits. It was designed in the 1950s, and the circuit layout's been untouched since. Which is
raced it a bit on Project Cars. It's fun.
One for the low downforces. And having a look at the practice times, although it didn't set a lot of laps, Fernando Alonso topped the session by just over a tenth from Lewis Hamilton, and Thomas Gonzalez, the Tornado's test driver and current championship leader in FF1M. And Alonso did it again, although by a slimmer margin, once again from Lewis Hamilton. And it's just looking a lot of drivers using the hard tyres in the practice sessions, but we'll see what they use in the race. 1 or 2 stops expected throughout. And having a look at the grid, and this time round it's an all-Willows front row, with Alonso ahead of Rosberg, and third, once again, is Jenson Button, and I have no idea how I've managed that.
You're doing some crazy black magic with the engine settings, I do wonder.
Well, all the engine settings are the same in qualifying. They just have to find out what I'm using in the race.
Alright, okay.
Hamilton qualifies 4th, with Sergio Perez up in 5th. That's a good effort from himself and the Excelites, and the highest shake and bake in 8th.
How am I the lead of the championship? My guys qualified 8th, and I didn't know that there was no different qualifying modes for the engines. Wow.
I think the qualifying mode is you can use them in the races if you're manufacturer status. Custom teams can't.
And that's where I got confused. Kobayashi down in 16th. Kevin as well down in 15th.
Yeah, not quite as strong as qualifying for him this time round, but out-qualified Button last time out in Mexico.
It's odd that he's so far down the grid now, but I suppose there's a really small field spread this season, isn't there? So
it's a much closer field than last season. Daniel Ricciardo down in 20th, and the back row filled by Alguersuari and Chandok. So here we go, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, wait for the usual pause, and then 5 lights go out, and that was a sluggish start for Nico Rosberg, and Jenson Button's taken second already. Alonso had a good launch, but the slipstream is quite powerful. As we go into the first corner, Button having a look around the outside, but looks like Alonso's holding on. He's giving Button some space. And down into turn 2, and Alonso moves to the racing line and takes the lead of the race, well, holds on to the lead from Jenson Button. Both appear to be on the medium tyres.
Yeah, great start from Jenson there.
He's having a go up the inside. What's he going to do into turn 3? And Jenson Button takes the lead of the race. How long have we seen it? Has it been since we've seen an FJR in the lead? In Monaco. So not that long ago.
Yeah, what a start from Jenson. Go on, lad. Go on, make Yorkshire proud.
And just looking down the field, we saw, I think Vettel briefly moved up to 7th, but Suttle retook the position off of the other German. Raikkonen's had a great start. Well, up 1 position, but a good start nonetheless. And now through the kink, it's Button. I suspect on a 2-stop strategy because he's only got 17 laps of fuel, whereas Willows are slightly heavier. Nico Rosberg looking up the inside into Canada corner, but not quite close enough there. And there's some more action between Vettel and Suttle, and I think that's Nico Hulkenberg as well. And more action, Di Resta versus Kubica, and I think Magnussen's getting himself involved as well. And completing the first lap, Massa rounds the rear. That's a poor start from him. That's down 4 positions. It's Jenson Button in the lead of the race.
Yeah, great start from Jens. What tyres is he on, actually?
Looks like the mediums he's on at the moment, but I could be wrong on that.
I think the top 3 are all on mediums.
All mediums for the top 3 at the moment. I think I'm running SOS for the next race, so that's a little insight. You heard it from me first.
Make a mental note and do nothing about it. That's what I'm going to do.
Saw an Exolite on the hards. Is that both of them or is it just one of them? Up the inside goes Hulkenberg, who's got past Vettel and he's also got past Raikkonen, so the Mitchell driver on the move. Also lightly fueled and expecting to do 2 stops. I think Vettel's looking to do 2 stops as well.
I noticed they didn't all fly off at turn 3, is it, this time? Like they did a couple of years ago?
Yeah, last season where it was both Pedersen's and both Sean Connery motors. No, it was both Tornadoes at the time. They just went off at turn 3 hilariously.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
And caused an extremely rare red flags. Vettel, and there's some action going on between the X-Lights. Subtle having a go at Perez and Vettel having a go at Raikkonen. And it's a risky place to try and overtake there. We've got a GRM getting up the inside of Grosjean, and that's a position gain for Valtteri Bottas.
I hate that corner. It's one of those corners that you can take a lot faster than you think you can. It looks like it should be a slower corner, but it's not really. I don't like it on Project Cars. I think it was Project Cars I was racing it on. Or Project Cars 2, rather.
Got Sebastian Vettel get up the inside of Kimi Raikkonen into the first corner. Taking the position away from the Finn, so Yorkshire versus Yorkshire.
I wasn't providing too much commentary there just because it was clenched butt cheeks time there.
And it's going to be clenched butt cheeks time for Sergio Perez, who's got Suttle and Hulkenberg swarming all over the back of the Mexican, who suffered a strange incident at the last race when he went off the track, and then I think he did the wait quite a while before rejoining. He starts building sandcastles in the gravel. Grosjean's retaken the position off of Bottas. Now he's going ball with Nico Hulkenberg. Back to Perez. Perez could be one stopping, who looks a bit slow at the moment. And that's not the place to overtake into the kink.
Is that where Catherine Legg had that massive crash?
Massive accident. I remember seeing that and thinking, how on earth did she walk away from that?
Yeah. I feel like they should rename that corner Leg Bend.
She's a gutsy lady. She's had loads and loads of massive crashes.
Gutsy lady or bad driver?
Oh, gutsy lady. Like, a lot of them were mechanical issues.
Yeah, I'm only winding you up, don't worry.
Grosjean versus Raikkonen. Up for 10th position into turn 3. This is Tornado Corner. And there's another battle in front. Corner. Vettel just took Perez for 7th.
I must admit, I didn't notice that.
It was just in the distance. And now Magnussen's going to challenge Kimi Raikkonen, who must surely be heavily fueled. Yeah,
he's dropping back. Must be heavy fuel rather than the hard, because he's on hard tyres, but so are a lot of people around him.
Grosjean wide, and he's out! Grosjean out of the race. That was a strange one. It looked like he got that. He ran wide, looked as if he got it all together, and then decided to go wide again. That was bizarre.
It was like 2 Grosjeanings in one corner.
Yeah, that was odd. Yeah, we'll discuss Roman Grosjean in real life in a bit, because that was enormous.
Yeah, that was... Yeah, Jesus. That was one of the few times I didn't mind having something happen in a race spoiled to me, because I didn't watch it live. I watched it on repeat, and... Yeah, I got found out about that crash before I watched it, but I'm glad I did. Right.
Yeah, because that could have been fatal.
Yeah, watching that live, I would have just assumed he was dead. So at least I kind of knew what to expect when I was watching it. But yeah, anyway, back to the
action. And Raikkonen's lost another couple of positions, one to Magnussen and one to Bottas. So the Nordic countries are pretty close together, and Jean-Eric Verne, who... In fact, that was Buemi behind Raikkonen, because this is Verne. Whoa, that was a big outbreaking manoeuvre on Perez. Was that
How did he make that corner?
That was
That's
mental.
crazy.
Good overtake from Verne.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look as if Perez is slow.
Yeah, I thought there's no way he was gonna get round there. That was mad.
He's having a good run of form, is Verne, because he's had a 5th, 3rd and a 4th in the last 3 races, which will surely do Tornado's self-esteem a lot of good.
I'm trying to figure out what livery that Tornado's based off of, because it's obviously the Red Bull with, I think, some Prost sponsorship.
Yeah, it's a mixture of Prost and Red Bull.
Yeah, is it like the 05 Red Bull?
Very early Red Bull, could be. And
yeah, 05 or 06.
And then possibly a late 90s Prost.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, like, with the way that Red Bull sponsorship's on the just kind of above the cockpit.
And the rear wing as well. 2006, I think.
Yeah, it might be 2006. But although the sponsorship might have been on like the 2003 Sauber or something in that cockpit position.
Oh, that's a Mitchell off. Is that Alguersuari? I think it is. And that's he's nibbling away at the concrete. There is the Spaniard, who must surely be under pressure with his seat, because we already seen Pedersen replace Pastor Maldonado with Karin Chandok, so I wonder if Mitchell will be thinking of something similar. Magnussen versus... side by side, close one.
That was a very Magnussen move, was that?
Meanwhile, it's lap 6 and Magnussen chopping in the front of Valtteri Bottas as he looks at the back of Raikkonen. As Raikkonen notices Perez, actually. So Perez really slow at this stage. Seems quite excellent, actually, to go fast in qualifying and not quite as quick in the race.
Is it? I thought it was the other way around. I thought they kind of can't really be bothered for qualifying, but yeah. I just turn the engines up so high in qualifying when it comes to the race.
They just blow up.
Yeah. Yeah, I always thought that was more the Excellite mantra.
The old school Excellite mantra.
Yeah. Now that in his old age, Whiteley's grown up a little bit more. He's matured in that way.
At least concentrating a little bit on the races. As Valtteri Bottas has a look at Kimi Raikkonen Sergio Perez. I'm getting these two Excelites mixed up. That's 10th position for Valtteri, who sits 5th in the championship at the moment. Suffered his first retirement of the season last time out in Mexico, thanks to an engine failure.
The reliability this season has been actually pretty decent.
It's not been too bad.
Oh, why did I say that? Why did I say that? Because we're going to cut to Vettel on fire now.
Well, let's wait and find out. I've no idea what happens, by the way. Buemi had a bit of a hacksawing moment at one of the corners, and coming under pressure from actual Kimi Raikkonen, who himself has got Paul Di Resta all over the back of him. Shout out to Adrian Suttle up in 5th position. That's contact between Di Resta and Raikkonen. Raikkonen off.
That might be in the hedge. Yeah.
A little hedge, but not much.
Oh, is he going to... I was worried he was going to rejoin in front of somebody there. Yeah, he's got away with that.
Survives another day, or another lap at least. Half expecting him to fly off at the final corner then.
Here comes Kamui though.
Be good to see another Japanese driver in F1 again.
It would be. Were they saying that Tsunoda might get in real life F1?
Possibly a Toro Rosso drive.
To be honest, I prefer to see Albon go to Toro Rosso and they bring in either Hulk or Perez in the Red Bull.
Whoa, off goes Raikkonen again.
Wow, what's going on there?
So
I thought he was going to come on in front of... I thought he was going to take out Ricciardo then. In fact, is Ricciardo in second to last now?
He's somewhere down the order. Sainz is off the track, sort of. Actually off the track, and that's Sainz out of the race in the same place as Grosjean. First retirement of the season. Oh, that's an Excellite behind him as well. Is that Perez? Or is it Raikkonen again?
Soon find out. Oh my god.
What on earth is going on with Kimi, the world champion?
He's gone off 3 times in 2 laps.
This might actually be the same within the space of a lap. And
it's
shunt.
Literally just a carbon copy. Wow.
That's poor.
Yeah, I think James Whiteley will be having words, to be honest.
Strong words.
I think Kimi had a strong drink, to be honest.
Magnussen's on the hard tyres, so that's a different strategy that I'm running with both drivers. And it's not working too badly. He's just moved up to 8th position ahead of Verne. And we have a look at Sergio Perez, who looks slow. That could just be the X-Lite thing, but still looks quite slow. Yeah, he's still on the pace-ish, but he's very heavily fueled, so that could explain Raikkonen's problems as well.
Did you hear that, Whiteley? He just called your car slow. Oh, and it's in the wall now.
So that's both X-Lites out.
Did you see that, Whiteley? Your car's in the wall now.
Both of them.
Being slow is the least of your troubles.
Well, that's... I'm trying to think of an appropriate word to describe that race.
Well, we can say what we want about Whiteley now, because we know for a fact that he just rage quitted the video.
Meanwhile, Hulkenberg's just taken Suttle for 5th position, so that's...
We don't have a bad word to say about him, really.
Nah, he's a nice guy, really.
Lovely chap. Just make sure you don't crash his car.
Speaking of which, here's Jenson Button.
Yeah, he's had a bit of a chaos season, hasn't he?
Yeah, only the 1 point score, which was the second in Monaco, but he's been leading the race since lap 1, and is due in the pits this lap. So Willows will be using the heavier fuel load to try and build up a bit of a gap, or maybe use the fresh tyres afterwards.
When was the last time you won a race?
2012 Long Beach. And that was with Kimi Raikkonen at the wheel.
Right.
Nearly had a double podium, but Grosjean and Maldonado got into a bit of bother.
Well, that's what happens with Grosjean and Maldonado going for the same bit of track.
Yeah, that was a bit of an odd one, I seem to remember. But still got a 4th position, did Roman. So not bad.
I was going to say, where is he in this race? But then I remembered he chucked into the wall on that very corner, didn't he?
Binned it at the carousel.
Yeah.
And I do know that that's the corner name, the carousel. It's a different sort of carousel to the Nürburgring.
Yeah, I don't mind the first carousel, but the second one's horrible.
Yeah, I know Jimmy Broadbent has problems with that one as well.
Oh, I just you always like 6 minutes into the lap and you think, oh, do I risk it? Do I go for it? And then you go for it and it just throws you out and horrible corner. Anyway,
into the pits comes Button.
Tell you what, this pit in always scared me. I don't know why. I don't like this pit in. It's something to do with just like the sheer 90-degree wall. And
then massive uphill climb as well.
Yeah. It's just it's very daunting, is that pit?
Yep. That's a definite 2-stop, so that should take Jensen to about lap 32. So fairly splitting the stints fairly evenly there. And
he's been driving well.
Yep.
I hope I haven't commentators cursed him there, but
I've probably already commentators cursed myself when I said that Jenson Button took the lead on lap 1.
Yeah, probably.
Rejoins just ahead of Verne.
Done a solid job so far. He just needs to not get into a silly accident now, because FF1M Jenson Button seems to be pretty happy to throw his car in places where it probably shouldn't be, such as walls. Speaking
of which, here comes Verne up the inside, and that is 6th position for Jev.
Having a good season is Jev.
Let's see what new tyres does on the FJR though, who rejoined in 7th. So Alonso and Rosberg now take the lead. Willows 1-2. Trying to remember when that one last happened. I've no idea when actually. Never mind.
I feel like it would have been some point this season, maybe. No, actually no, because Alonso's not had the best of seasons.
No, and I don't think they managed a 1-2 in the 2012 season, so no, I don't think they've had a 1-2 in their career yet.
Not finished 1-2, but I'm sure they will have been running 1-2 at some point during the race before.
Possibly, yeah.
Is Button going to get this back? There's a little bit of a lock-up there from Jev.
They were running in 1-2 in Monaco for a little bit.
Right, yeah. Okay.
So that makes sense. I think it's due.
Nico crashed out in Monaco, didn't he, if my memory serves me rightly?
Yeah, in the Phantom Barrier at the chicane.
Yeah. Because he's been Mr. Consistent so far this season, but
3 retirements in a row, though, for Rosberg.
Yeah, and there goes Jens.
Up to 4th. It would have been 6, but people are in the pits. And Mr. Consistent at the moment, there have been 3 drivers who have finished every race so far, and they've been Vettel, Hamilton, and Jean-Eric Verne.
And that's 3 commentators' curses there.
Oh, Chandok's finished every race, but he's only been in 1 race so far.
Go on, Kareem.
Is this Chandok? It was Chandok. He's been passed by Massa.
Unlucky Karoon.
Unlucky.
I do really like real-life Karoon Chandok.
Yeah, he's a friendly
bloke. He's a good
bloke.
pundit. Yeah, a really good pundit. Better pundit than he was a driver, I must admit.
Yeah. He was Mr. Consistency in 2010 for a bit, but he did have a HRT.
It was consistently last.
Sort of.
Yeah. Right, and now
That's Verne versus Buemi.
Tobias is probably a bit tense right now.
Oh, what's happened to Verne?
What's happened there?
He just locked up.
Did he just brake super early?
That was bizarre.
That was weird.
Bizarre seems to be my word of the day.
Maybe Tobias got on the blower and said, "Look, mate, if you're not following your teammate into the next corner, you're going to be following me to the job centre."
Either that or he said, "Let your teammate through," and accidentally gave that to Verne.
Maybe, yeah.
But Verne is the quicker driver at the moment. Has been consistently quicker than Buemi, who's not had a good return to FF1M. He's quite good for a bit. Oh, Buemi's off.
Oh dear.
That's a big one. And has he lost some parts? He must have done. Yeah, he's lost his wheel.
Yeah,
That's
rear wheel. Yeah.
Buemi out of the race.
Well, that's.
So we're seeing some strange driving errors.
I was going to say that's one problem solved for Tobias at least.
Yeah. Let your teammate through. Okay. Bosh.
Yeah.
As Rosberg is due in the pits this lap.
I'm always suspicious when it cuts to the leader. But yeah, you're right. It does look like he's due in.
Yep. And I think Alonso is actually extending the gap over Buttons, so it looks as if the lower fuel load appears to be the more beneficiary factor this time around, which is a little bit unusual.
I wonder if he's going for a one-stopper.
Possibly. It's quite early for a one-stop.
Alonso, I mean, sorry.
Could be Alonso's doing a one-stop as well. I think he could do a one-stop from here. We'll find out as Rosberg rises the crest into the concrete pit lane, and there's the garages on the right. Little bit to go before pulling into his pit box now. Up goes the car on the jacks.
Very smartly dressed mechanics.
And that is a one-stop strategy for Rosberg, so he's rolling some sort of dice. That's going to be very heavy and on the fuel at this stage, and then once the tyres go, towards the end of the race, he's going to be struggling a bit, but it's a long pit lane, so I wonder if that's probably why he's done it, as Button has jumped Rosberg just about. Only just, though, so I would expect Alonso to jump Button once he makes his first stop.
Yeah, Button needed to do that, but I think Alonso's over the hills and far away at this point, unless he's going to go for a crazy two-stopper when he's...
I probably would prefer the two-stop strategy if I was Alonso, just to guarantee that you'd stay ahead of Button.
I don't know. I feel like with his teammate on a one-stopper pitting before him, he's got to go for a one-stopper as well.
Yeah, I'd think so as well. Strategies tend not to vary too much. Let's see what happens as the fuel goes in and on go the tyres. I think that does say 29, so that's also one stop, and that's a quick stop, 4.7 seconds.
And crucially, where's Button? I'm pretty sure Button's going to come out in second. Yeah.
Trundling down the pit lane.
Unless with Button being lighter on fuel, he can pass him on track. I feel like that's Alonso's race now.
That's a long way in front of Button.
Yeah.
Who is pulling away from Rosberg a little bit now, that he's got the lighter fuel load, but at the moment it's Hamilton in the lead. I haven't seen a lot of Hamilton this race. Where did he start? He was fourth on the grid, so he's... Oh, Vettel's out!
Oh, no!
So, what's happened there?
Right, okay. Let's,
Has he had a collision with Nico Hülkenberg?
Well, this is Daniel Ricciardo, who's yeeted it into the
Oh,
wall.
it's both shake and bakes.
Wow. Okay. Right, okay. I'm going to maybe having stern words with Daniel here.
Right, so it was Hülkenberg and Ricciardo who made contact, and then rejoining right into the path of Vettel was Daniel Ricciardo.
Well, good evening, and I'll catch you in a bit.
Please stay on, you're my buddy.
That's literally a worst case scenario.
I know, wow. That's gonna close the championship up quite a lot.
Yep.
As Hamilton...
My two cars crash, and it's Ricciardo that drives away. God damn it.
4.9 second stop for Lewis Hamilton. Also one stopping, trundling down the very long pit lane at 81 kilometres an hour.
I just realised that's the fourth accident in a row that Ricciardo's been involved in.
Yes, he had a crash at Portugal, crash at Monaco, and then shunted into Button quite dramatically at the Peraltada.
Oh, what a bag of ass, honestly. That's ridiculous.
Imagine seeing that article in Autosport, bag of ass. As Kobayashi and Kubica do battle for sixth position, both yet to stop, as is Jean-Eric Vergne, interestingly enough. So if he was that much quicker than Buemi, how heavy was Buemi running before he crashed? And still doing battle, Kubica and Kobayashi.
This is where I just sulk for the rest of the commentary now.
Back up to sixth position goes Kubica, and during the pits, Shoon, as Sean Connery would say. Don't know where my accent came from. Vergne into the pits, as is Kobayashi, so Kubica will be following suit shortly.
Hey, I've just noticed that the pit lane's got the F1 teams from 2008, I think it is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did notice.
The pit box had like a Toro Rosso and like the Honda Earth Dreams thing. Don't know what that's about, because real life F1 obviously never went there.
No, it's mostly a champ car venue.
Yeah.
And there's Kubica into the pits.
Oh, I like that camera angle. Look at that.
I can see the ING Renault.
I wonder if it is 2008 then, or it might be 09.
So let's see the Honda, as it would have been pit garage. Yeah, 2008.
Yeah.
Oh, I just saw Super Aguri.
Yeah, I was going to say.
What a likeable team.
Good old, yeah, Super Aguri. Yuji Ide, the GOAT.
The GOAT.
Yeah.
A very smart camera angle at Kubica's pit stop, who rejoins just ahead of Kobayashi. So these two resume battle once again. And Kobayashi mediums, Kubica on hards. Let's see where these two end up, because there's still some drivers to do their second stop, including both FJRs, I believe.
Is Hamilton on a two-stop? I think he...
Just on a one-stop is Lewis. He pitted later than both Willows.
Well, that's interesting.
So Hamilton, well, at the moment he sits 4 points behind Vettel in the championship, so a fifth place would mean that he'd tie with Vettel, but Vettel would still lead by virtue of having more wins, as into the pits comes Sutil, who had that sensational qualifying performance last time out at Mexico with the second on the grid.
I feel like barring any crashes or weird reliability, this is going to end in a Willows 1-2, and it's between Hamilton and Button for third, I think.
That's a good summation, I think. I think Willows are a bit out of reach today.
Yeah, I don't think Button's going to be able to pit in again and close up to the back of Rosberg and take him.
Certainly,
but I might be wrong.
Certainly he won't catch up to Alonso, because he's not exactly doing that during this second stint.
Yeah, Alonso's long gone, I think.
So it's Alonso's to lose, basically, as Sutil rejoins behind Kobayashi. Where's Kubica gone? I'm
sure Joseph Willows is enjoying all our commentators' curses here on his drivers. Yeah, it's a Willows 1-2. I can't see it being anything other than a Willows 1-2. Impossible, in fact, for it not to be a Willows 1-2.
As Kevin Magnussen comes into the pits for his second stop. Not a bad race for Kevin, actually. He's made his way up into the points from 15th on the grid.
Outshone by his teammate, though, but...
Quite a way off, but weirdly enough, Magnussen scored the first points of the season for myself, as... I'm still curious as to what's happened to Kubica, because he and Kobayashi were right next to each other, and now he's nowhere near the Japanese driver, who is going to try and take 7th off of Bottas. Down the long straight, and trying to break him into 3. That's 7th position for Kamui Kobayashi, and at this moment, both Gujeras in the points.
He's having a better race, Kamui.
Yeah, he's gotten his season sort of together. He's had 2-point scores in the last 3 races, 7th and an 8th, but points nonetheless.
Yep, he's fueled to the end as well, so
that's a legit 7th.
Yeah, he should stay there, or go higher.
Button's due into the pits this lap. He'll rejoin a long way ahead of Verne, so he'll be spending this last stint trying to catch up to Hamilton, I think, because Hamilton's only 14 or so seconds behind Button at this stage, and you lose about 30 seconds in a pit stop. It's a long pit lane.
It feeds you out onto the track. You're going very slow compared to the other cars. It's one of those unpleasant pit lanes.
4.6 seconds, that's the fastest of the race, and he'll be on much, much fresher tyres than both Willows and Hamilton. So it'd be interesting to see what Button can actually do. Probably won't reach the Willows, but got a chance at Hamilton.
7.3, that's probably going to be more like 9 by the time he's up to speed.
That was 7.3 behind Alonso when he crossed the finish line. So I think he's probably about 14 seconds or so behind Hamilton.
Right, okay.
Which, 15 laps to go, I think is doable.
Yeah, he's got to get past him as well, though. I don't know what overtaking's like on this circuit on GP4, but...
3 places to overtake. There was into the first corner, into third corner, and then into Canada corner, which is your problem corner on Project Cars.
Yeah.
So there's places to overtake here.
And my problem corner on FF1M, because that's where my 2 guys crash as well.
I know, strange symmetry, that. As Kobayashi getting it hairy underneath the bridge onto the start-finish straight. He's going to come under pressure from Suttil in the resurgent Horizon. Bottas just took the position off of Kobayashi a lap ago. The gap between Hamilton and Button's 15.5 seconds. So we'll keep an eye on progress there. Unless I suffer an engine failure, which is possible.
I think it looks like Kobayashi points finish might be a tall order after all. We'll see.
We'll see what happens in the final 14 laps. Underneath the bridge with the bright yellow sponsorship, possibly orange. Approaching the crane and the braking zone of turn 3. That's going to be 8th position for Adrian Suttil. And can he do something about Valtteri Bottas in front? There's Magnussen lurking up as well, so points are possible for him.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting finish. See what kind of pace Magnussen's got.
It's lap 35 and Fernando Alonso holds a 13.7 second lead over Nico Rosberg. Rosberg's only 3 and a bit seconds ahead of Hamilton, and Button didn't actually... That's a scary one, isn't it? Button's not actually closing on Hamilton, so it could well just be a 4th position for Jenson Button, which I'll take.
Yeah, it looks like podium might be out of reach. I mean, I want you to get the podium, take points off my championship rivals, but yeah, fourth's okay, I guess.
Another reason to cheer on an FJR. Yay.
Besides the obvious Yorkshireness. We look out for each other, we do as Yorkshire folk.
As Magnussen takes 9th position off of Kobayashi, next target Suttil, who's only 2.2 seconds behind Bottas, who himself only 1.8 behind De Resta. Verne into the pits with an electrical issue, according to his steering wheel.
That's a shame that he's had a good race.
Yes.
Deserved some points.
How far ahead was he compared to the others? Well, I think this is just as Magnussen's going to risk it against Adrian Sutil. That's another brave one.
He's got a lot of pace as Magnussen, though.
2 stops, so I think he's on the fresher tyres. As Verne would have just been coming into the pits at this point, so this should move Bottas up to 5th, and then De Resta and Sutil will move up to 6th and 7th, and Magnussen will move up to 8th as a result of Verne's unscheduled pit stop. There's confirmation of that. Magnussen moves up to 7th now.
Yeah.
Nearly getting nearly getting his arse shaved by Sutil into turn 1.
Yeah, getting the front of that car was acting like a proctologist there. It was right up there. That is desperately unlucky for Verne, though. Desperately
unlucky indeed. As Sutil and Magnussen do battle into 3, Sutil retakes a position. That's 7th for the German. But they continue the battle as they go around the carousel, and then Magnussen try a look into the kink. He's a bit too far back this time, which is probably ideal because it's a long straight into Canada corner. Now there's been contact here before, and Sutil shutting the door.
Oh, that's I tell you what, Sutil fights as hard on track as he does in the bar.
Oh dear. So Magnussen's going to have to wait another lap before challenging for 7th position. Who's in 9th, I wonder? It must be Kobayashi. Indeed it is. As they rise the crest onto the start-finish straight as Al-Jaswari and Chandok do battle for 14th position. And that's the man of the race in front of them, Daniel Ricciardo.
And his last race for Shake and Bake. I'm not quite that petty, but it's...
Mind you, there's a selection of drivers you could replace him with if you could be bothered.
I don't know how much money I've got left in the bank, though. I think I might have maxed out my yearly allocation.
Who knows, as Al-Jaswari and Chandok do battle into turn 3, and that's 14th for the Spaniard. One of 5 drivers yet to score points, although one of them will just say won't be able to score points because Maldonado got sacked. Says Buemi, Sainz and Al-Jaswari and Chandok all yet to score points.
I've just realised that it was Maldonado that got replaced. I didn't even notice. I knew that Chandok came in, but I couldn't remember who for. It's only when you said that then I realised it was Maldonado. I feel like I was instrumental in his downfall in FF1M because he had a good season for, was it Willows it was with before me? And then I just beat the confidence out of him.
His second drivers in Shake and Bake don't tend to do very well, I've noticed lately. Because Perez didn't exactly set the world alight, and then it's Maldonado again, and similarly with Ricciardo.
We don't use the term second driver, we use the term bitch.
We should probably get back to the action here, because Magnussen took 7th off of Sutil on the start-finish straight of this particular lap, and there's a possible 6th on the, pardon the pun, horizon, as De Resta's in front. Oh, I did not plan that, and I feel ashamed.
Yeah, he's in a horizon burger. That's a call back to the start.
Bit of Danish bacon in this particular burger.
Yeah, it's Danish bacon. It is normally from Denmark, isn't it?
And
you get it from the supermarket and that. Good one. Yeah. I approve.
And Captain Bacon is up the back of Mr. Haggis for 6th position. That is 6th position for the FJR driver. And with just a handful of laps to go, De Resta having a look back on the inside. That's the Webber, as he was doing there, because I've seen Webber do that trick before. But that's 6th position for Kevin Magnussen. Both FJRs in the top 6. I'm pleased with that.
Yeah, it's been a really good race. I don't know what the gap's like between Hamilton and Button. I haven't been keeping an eye on it, but I'm guessing with...
Hamilton's got 3rd position pretty comfortably.
Right, okay. Just nothing that could go wrong is what you're saying for him now. Nothing could go wrong for Hamilton now.
No, pretty solid third position for Lewis behind both Willows.
Yeah.
And I think the next bit of battle is going to be between the two Horizons, between DeResta and Suttle. Both finished 5th and 6th last time out, so that's a very good result for them in Mexico.
Yeah, Horizons are having a bit of a comeback out there this season.
It's definitely their best run of form since they entered FF1M in 2012.
Oh, was it only that recently?
Yeah, Willows and Horizon were the recent ones.
Oh, I always thought Horizon had been around for longer. I don't know why. Clearly so used to them.
But it's good to see anyway, as Suttle took 7th away from DeResta at Canada Corner. And to start the penultimate lap goes the German. Former race winner, actually, is Adrian Suttle.
Yeah, he did a lot better in FF1M than he did in real F1.
Yeah, he won the Singapore race with Andy Racing at the time.
Was that... that was fairly recently, wasn't it?
2010, that would have been.
Right.
Another interesting fact about Andy Racing or Andrew F1 is that they won in their first season with Michael Schumacher.
Really?
That was in 2002, the season before you joined.
All I remember from that season was both his cars snapping in half at Eau Rouge.
Legendary FF1M moment, and hopefully AJ still got that on file. Because
that was brilliant.
That was funny.
In fact, I went for the same lineup as he did the season after, didn't I?
Schumacher and Sato.
Yeah, and Shuey, yeah.
Went until 2007 before you came good. With old Lulu at the wheel.
Yeah, with Lewis. All mine, I think I've only ever won one championship, or was it 2?
You've won at least 2.
Right.
2008, I think. Maybe not 2008. 2009, definitely. And 2010-ish. I'll have to double check that.
Might have done. I think that was when I got rid of Lewis for Vettel.
Get well soon, by the way, Lewis.
Right.
As up the hill to complete the final lap and to take his second win of the season is Fernando Alonso. And surely it'll be a Willows 1-2 as Nico Rosberg will come home in second position. And Lewis should come home in third, but we'll have that confirmed in due course.
Tell you what, I chatted a lot of shit about Lewis's music in the Australian commentary. He played some stuff on Instagram and it wasn't my bag, but it sounded actually alright considering he produced it as well.
Yeah.
So I might have to take it back about Lewis being really shit at music. I think he was just really shit in that one song, which might not have been his fault.
Possibly.
But he's a little budding Kanye West by the looks of it.
And the results are Alonso, Rosberg and Hamilton, as Button finishes 4th, Bottas 5th, and Magnussen makes it 2 FJRs in the top 6, and completing the points, both Horizons, with Suttle ahead of DeResta. And Alonso did set the fastest lap of the race, so another grand slam for him. Pole, fastest lap and win.
Yeah, Alonso getting back on track now to where he by all accounts should be, considering the start of his season wasn't that great.
And no reliability problems for the drivers, all crashes. Vettel, Perez, Buemi, Sainz, Raikkonen and Grosjean.
Yeah, I think, given the reliability of things, it's been a lot better this season. I'll have to make some tweaks. Read into that what you will.
Well, we can make tweaks after the Canadian Grand Prix, which will be next up, as that will be the mid-season break, because we're doing some classic FF1M afterwards.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
More on that later, as Hamilton now leads the championship, just 2 points from Vettel, but a 2-point lead it is nonetheless. Rosberg sits third now, still in third, but having scored his first points since Nürburgring, where he finished second. And Alonso now firmly in the championship charge with 35 points, quite some way ahead of Valtteri Bottas, who sits fifth. And Willows leap up to the top of the championship thanks to their 1-2. They hold a 16-point lead over Sheikh Beck, who themselves are 1 point ahead of Gajera. JRM still sit 4th, but it's going to be a raging battle between, I'd say, 4th down to 11th, because there's not a lot of points between those.
I can't see anybody winning in constructors other than Willows, though, to be honest.
I've always bidded them as the pre-season favourites, and now they're justifying that status with their 1-2 finish. So that was another interesting race at Road America, and we will complete the North American trio in Canada. We shall see you for then.